Yeah, you gotta
Welcome
be
to
like,
Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
what's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? This is Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your what, ladies? Your shmoney.
Money.
Yes.
Money.
Oh my God. So today is going to be, I don't know, an interesting, maybe explosive conversation. Listen, we could not stop talking about this very topic just between the four of us before we even got on here. We had to get reined in. And if you can see behind me, I got the American flag behind me, y'all, because guess what? I love this country. I really do. I was born here. My mama was born here. My grandmama, my great-great-grandmama, everybody was born here. And so I love this country. And so, you know, with the state of where this country is today is very divisive. And it seems like it's getting worse by the day. But before we get started, I want to introduce you to the most dopest queens on the planet. So I first want to talk to my girl all the way from, oh God, you are not from Zimbabwe. Where are you from, Noma?
Botswana.
Oh my God, I knew it. It was on the tip of my tongue. Oh my God. All the way from Botswana, Miss Nomalanga. She is marriage, motherhood, and what? Money. You heard me. What's up, Miss Nomalanga? All the way from Botswana. How you doing, lady?
Awesome. Feeling great today. How are you?
I'm good. You ready for the conversation?
As I'll ever be.
Okay, that's what's up. And then I have my good girlfriend, the wealth activator, Miss Aisha, hailing all the way from Los Angeles, California. What's up, Miss Aisha?
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Hey. And finally, I have my fellow patriot. Go ahead and stand up for him, Miss Shalaye. Go ahead and stand up for him. Show him what's going on. See, we patriots.
SOS, smoke signals.
Hers is a little bit different than mine. While my flag is very right side up, hers is right side down. I don't know what that means. She gonna get into it. It says we the people. What does it say on the bottom?
We the people are not okay.
Oh, we are not okay. Ooh, and I think that's a good segue into the topic today. So Shalaye is a real estate broker all the way from Boston.
Boston in
So
the
ladies,
house.
I know, yes, I know you've seen all the craziness that's been happening over the last 24 hours. We saw live in living color something that I don't think we've ever seen before, and that's Mr. Charlie Kirk. And I've been talking about him for months, where he got assassinated right here on at Utah University. What we're going to talk about today is what they reveal about leadership and extremism and maybe even community safety. This is not about any one person today, you guys. So let's get this out your mind. But I don't know if we're going to be able to veer away from this one person and the rhetoric. I don't know. The conversation is going to be what the conversation is going to be. But this is really supposed to be about what happens when leaders ignore diversity, ethics, and responsibility. So we're going to break it all the way down to the very last compound, all the lessons for the Black community, for young leaders, and for protecting your people and your resources. So before we get into the first video, I want to know what, Shalaye, was your first thought when you saw, and then y'all in the chat too, everybody in the chat, what was your first thought when you saw the video yesterday?
Well, see, I didn't even see the video. I maybe 4 o'clock in the morning, I got like an alert on my phone, and I just happened to be up, and I saw
Today?
it.
Today? Wait,
Yeah.
today?
I just found out.
Oh, you weren't on social media yesterday because
No, I
oh,
was not.
oh,
And so I just went, and I was like, who's Charlie Kirk? And then I was like, oh, him. My reaction, I didn't really have, I didn't have a huge reaction to it. Still processing.
Well, you're new to it, so I'm gonna give you a couple hours, but I can tell you what I felt very immediately. Aisha, what about you? What did you think? Did you see the video yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what was the first thought when you saw it?
I think, to be honest, I was saddened that nobody deserves to be killed like that. That's just my first thought. I didn't know him, but that was my first thought, that nobody deserves to be killed like that. Then I started hearing more and more and more and more. Then I said, okay, I can see, but that was my first thought.
Okay. What about you, Noma?
I also have the same kind of feeling as Aisha. I don't think that no matter how, whatever inflammatory thing a person is saying, that, their wife deserves a dead husband and their kids deserve a dead dad. That's just how I feel. And maybe it's because, I've dealt with death just recently, so maybe I feel that more strongly. But that's how I look at most things. Even when people go to prison, and even if they deserve to go to prison, I always think to myself, "Oh, his poor wife. Oh, those poor children." That's just how I respond to, a person getting killed.
Yeah, death is a real thing. And one thing Charlie Kirk said is, I think empathy is a made up new age term that has done a lot of damage. And fortunately for him, most of us have empathy. But Charlie Kirk, which I followed him, I've reposted his shit for a while. He had no empathy for anybody else. He said it was there was a gentleman that I had shared his a post that he made, and he said my son was killed in a mass killing, and Charlie Kirk said, "Oh well, that's black people stuff." Charlie Kirk was famous for saying things about the black community, rhetoric about, and I don't care about any of the, I'm not saying I'm not part of any of the communities. I'm not part of LGBT, AQ, and all that other stuff. So my focus is on the black community. And when the inflammatory things that this man said about black people, about women, about our culture, about DEI, and then he said that basically being murdered was a sacrifice for being able to keep the Second Amendment, their rights to bear arms. I mean, he said it's like he welcomed it. He didn't mean that for himself. He meant that for everybody else. And so for all of us, so did any of you guys know who he was before this happened?
No.
Okay.
I didn't know who he was.
Have you since learned about any of the things that he said about our community?
Yes.
Horrible things.
Yes, I have now.
Horrible, racist, inflammatory, untrue, disgusting things.
All the things. Yeah. So Noma, what are your thoughts about just the things about that he said about our community? And then we're gonna go into a video.
I haven't heard much about just to start with, I'm only hearing about this today because it was all over my timeline. And I don't typically watch the news. I'm very specific about when we're on a show, I focus on what we're going to talk about. But he sounded like a really awful person. And he was specifically awful towards anybody that was not like him. So, with all that said, I still don't believe he deserves to get shot. I believe also in the right to bear arms. My husband is a hunter. We eat game meat, but the thing is, you can have all those viewpoints and things without being as hateful as he sounds like he was.
Well, since you don't know anything about Charlie Kirk, let's take a look at one of the videos.
You are race obsessed. I am not race obsessed. Like, they're killing white people in the streets in South Africa. It's literally a mini white genocide. You see a black pilot, you wonder, boy, is that person there because they earned it or because they were placed there? What percentage of young blacks have both a mom and a dad raising them? Blacks in America. Black women married the government and divorced the men. Why do blacks have a broken family? Why is it that Black America is one of the only populations, that and Native American populations, that have not been able to overcome such evil, horror, and injustices? Blacks commit more crimes than whites do. You talk about race more than the Grand Wizard of the KKK.
So this is who we're talking about. Someone who there's so many things. He blatantly lies. He talks about race all the time, and he cannot seem to get black people out of his mouth. He could not. Him and Candace Owens, they was partners. They did a lot of stuff together, but they could not seem to get black people out of their names out of their mouth. Now, what do you think about black people who empathize with this rhetoric? I'll start with you, Aisha.
I can understand, as a human being, if you think about humanity, you might have that immediate reaction. But then as time goes on, you learn more and more, then you temper your emotions, understanding the situation around what happened. And just hearing what he said, just a little, I know they're all cut specifically for us to listen to today. I thought about that. I don't know. I never knew about him until just yesterday when this happened. And I thought about it deeply as an immigrant to this country that is of the race that he talks about, and trying to understand, why would you even speak about any group of people like that? Why? You should never. So my first thing was, who raised you to actually think that you can speak about other people like that? Right. And then there was something he just said that actually, the more I learn about him, the more I say, wow, I can see why somebody will dislike you so much. Right. And even though you don't deserve to die like that, it's not right, because then the injustice now means it can happen to any of us too, right? So when he was saying, if you see a black pilot, you think, how did he get there? And him, I grew up in the country where it's all black. The Alpha jet pilots are 17, 18 years old men flying these machines for years. I grew up like that. So when you speak like that, it makes me think, wow, you must not have been raised properly, or you must have only been in America only. Because where I'm from, the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, they're all black people, and they're damn good at what they do. Just because your group of people try to subjugate them doesn't mean that we don't have them, right? So that kind of make me think, wow, okay, you must not know about black people that much. You must have only traveled very small part of your life. That's how I feel hearing him talk like that. But
Yeah.
it's sad. It's sad.
Well, I think Charlie Kirk is one of the many reflections, as is a lot of these white supremacists, that these thoughts and actions have not died. And you know what I found when I looked at a lot of the interviews is that a lot of people were saying, he's saying exactly what I've been feeling for a long time, and I just haven't been able to express it. These people have been hiding how they felt about Black people for a very long time, and finally somebody gave a voice to it, and he became their hero, and now he is their martyr. We're going to talk more about this when we come back from the break.
Woo! It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
So if you are just tuning in with us, we're talking about Charlie Kirk, who a white man who was a junior college, community college dropout, who would go to college campuses all over the country and do debates with some scholars from all over the world. He did one at Oxford and got destroyed. He's done them all over the country, just debating about different things. And most of the time, if you hear what he says, he's lies, but he says it with so much conviction that you think he's telling the truth. And a lot of what he's doing is he's indoctrinating a lot of these young people. What do you think the danger, or maybe not danger, of this type of indoctrination, Nomalanga, that could happen when you're going to these colleges with these young, impressionable minds? Like, what do you think is the danger or the result that could come from it?
It actually is very dangerous, because you know what? Some of the things that he says are actually true, but they lack context and background. See? So then he mixes that with lies, and then he makes it sound, he's very passionate, he sounds very convincing, and a lot of idiots will fall for it. I mean, I felt the same way about the current president, because he also was just giving a voice to what people were afraid to say, and he just said it. And then the fact that he is president for the second time shows that there are a lot of people that agree with him, even though they're not saying it. So I'm not sure that he's introducing something that doesn't exist. He's just saying it out loud. Where some people, and that's what I've always said about, I've experienced American racism and I've experienced South African racism. And while we're on South Africa, I want to say white people are not getting killed on the street in South Africa.
That part.
Yeah, but I've experienced South African racism and American racism. South African racism is in your face. Like, they will literally tell you that I don't like you, I don't want you here. They just, if you sit next to them, they can move away. It's toned down a little bit because part of it is that they're the minority and Black people are the majority. American racism is very stealthy. They smile in your face. They tell you that, oh, your hair's so beautiful. Oh, you have, those features, blah, blah. But in their mind, they could hate you and wish you were dead, but still smile in your face. They can even hire you. And from the day you're hired, they will sabotage you and prove that you don't even belong there, even though they hired you. And what he's just doing is just saying out loud what we have, through maybe laws and whatever else, have stopped the worst of racists. We've stopped them from being able to say what they want to say with hate, calling it hate crime and all this. All you're doing is just stifling their voice, but you're not going to change how they feel.
Yeah. That is the truth. Shalaye, I see you chomping at the bit over there. You ready? Well, I know you got a lot of good shit to say.
It's just, again, I'm still wrapping my brain around it, right? But it's just really ironic. Everything about it is ironic to me. It's ironic that he got killed by a gun, and he's such a fighter for the Second Amendment, which I believe everyone should have the right to bear arms. We all need to be bearing arms, right? I just think it's ironic that he called George Floyd a scumbag when he was killed by the police. And I say, well, maybe now he's in good company. That's it.
Well, there's so many things. And so, when you talk about George Floyd, and there was a debate that a young girl, I don't know if we have the video. Do we have the video at all? But there was a debate where a young girl was asking, why he thinks Derek Chauvin should be exonerated or commuted, or what do you call that? But should be let out of jail. And he was giving all of these lies in rapid succession to make it sound like they prove this, they prove this, they prove this. And everybody's like, yeah. And they're believing, and they're lies, but he says it with so much conviction that it makes it sound true. And that's the danger. And so America is already a boiling pot of, this racism that has been steeped embedded in the fabric of this country since the inception. It just kind of got buried, and a Band-Aid was placed on it, and it's just been bubbling. It's been bubbling. And then you let a Negro named Barack Obama become the president, and it blows the lid off of it. These people have lost their mind. They could no longer contain themselves. And this is what happened when you vote a Negro into office. This is the result. Let's go to the next video. And then did you guys have anything to add to that?
I do.
No.
Although I believe that no one should be just murdered, right? We can't live in a society where people are just murdered for their beliefs. We just cannot. We can't. I don't condone it, and we can't condone that, right? But again, the irony of the empathy that I'm hearing about, we're talking about, that we see even Black people giving this situation, because this person doesn't have empathy for George Floyd, for Black people, for Black women. I believe he said that Black women don't have brain processing power.
Brain power, so yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand, like, the empathy. I mean, although we can't live in a society that's like an eye for an eye, because that's just a dangerous society. But I believe that one of the videos, a woman said that this could change the political landscape forever. It's the same thing. Other people have been assassinated for their beliefs. This isn't, I don't see anything different about
this is their second coming of Jesus. This is their new martyr. They are going to take this and they are going to run with this. This man has sacrificed his life for the cause of white supremacy. And this is what this is. This is the opening of that. And Trump, all he's doing is he's fanning the flames. He's exacerbating it. I don't know if you guys saw the speech from Donald Trump, but he said, this is the left-wing lunatics, the extremists. We don't know who shot the man.
Right.
We have no clue. He named all the people who were harmed, all the right-wing people. He didn't name any. How, as a leader of a whole country, do you take one side of a country when you are talking to the whole? That's divisive.
He's doing it on purpose.
Right in front of our faces. Why do you think? Right in front of our faces. And these people with this third grade education, they don't see it. That's why they shouldn't be able to vote. Anyway, let's go to the next video.
So Charlie Kirk died today. He was murdered. He was murdered. He was murdered. And people are replaying the video. They're replaying the video as if it's something. They're replaying the video as if it's something to be replayed. I don't know. He's 31 years old. And so over words. And it's not just words. It's the truth. You hear me? It's the truth. People hate the truth. And they hate the truth because they hate God. I'm over here packing with my girls. And we just got the news. I don't know how to feel because I know there's a scripture that says when the righteous are taken from the earth, that the wicked consider it. They don't consider that the righteous was just removed from the wrath to come. And Charlie Kirk was a man, a man's man. He was a man, and he loved his family. The video is awful. The video is awful. I thought it was AI. I was watching it with my sister here, because we're packing. I thought it was fake, but it's not.
Girl, if you don't get this coon shit up off my screen.
Is it not satire? Is it not satire?
Like,
it's people out there. It's people that I had to delete off my Facebook with this silly ad. I'm at my daddy's house, y'all. I'm at my dad's house, and I shouldn't be cussing, but this is starting to piss me the hell off. I'm gonna say it real quiet. It's starting to piss me the fuck off. You hear me? There's some kids that died yesterday at a school, right? It's a senator that just got killed a few months ago. It's people that die every day. It's stuff going on in Gaza, and this is what you choose to get on social media, on Beyonce's internet and do. This is who you choose to cry over. A man who talks about you and says that you are not smart.
Yes. And then you didn't want to see this man. I'm sorry. Let me go on mute.
Nah. I mean, he said that y'all didn't have daddies. I'm at my daddy house right now. He said y'all didn't have daddies. He said that y'all commit crimes more than anybody else, that Black women are dumb, that they're rude, that they're incompetent, and this is who you choose to cry over. That's all I got to say. Aisha, what was your thoughts?
When I started listening to her talking, to me, I
I
think
need your voice of reason. Thank you. Go ahead. Give us a voice.
I think it's just the humanity of it. That's why I saw that for it to be happening, because it's very traumatic for you to see. It doesn't matter who it is being killed in front of you right there, and you see it played. It's traumatic, and it just makes you kind of say, "Oh, that just happened," and it just kind of pulls you back, regardless of what the person says over and over again that you know is bad. When you go back and look at everything they say, it happening right there. Everybody's right there. Your family. It's traumatic. Even her talking actually want to make me cry, because that was what I felt. The
wanna make you
trauma
cry?
of it. That this is traumatic. Why somebody just get killed because again, yeah, I think I can see why she's crying, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be crying either. But I can understand that. It's hard. It's heart wrenching to watch.
Noma, it wasn't satire.
That's where I was stuck. I really thought when she had her face over here, like her hand over her, when she had her hand over her face, I thought when she took it out, she'd be like, "Gotcha!" Whatever.
Yes.
That's what I, honest to God, the whole way through. And then when she said, "I'm here with my sister," I thought at the end, and Tiara, one of our producers, loves to joke. I thought that's what that was. Like it was a whole satire thing. And when it ended and she was still just crying, listen, at the beginning of the show, I talked about some of what Aisha's saying about the humanity in general of a person getting killed. But no, sis, no, like
This ain't it.
Go jump in the lake. Like, really? Are you kidding? I mean, come on. Like, somebody needs to slap her face.
No, she might be a conservative that believes what he says.
That believes black people are stupid. Black people don't deserve nothing.
I'm a conservative, and then she had the audacity to sprinkle in some scriptures.
Yes, that's what they do.
I was watching this thing like, what's the movie with Samuel L. Jackson when he was the slave? Was it Django?
Django. Yes.
I was like, this is reminiscent of Django.
What is it, Django?
Yes. Like, let's go on her page and see if she has any other crying videos for the children who die, and for JFK, MLK, like any other crying for this man who believes that you don't have brain processing power, who stops at nothing every time he opens his mouth to race bait. I'm confused.
But even if he says it about us, I don't believe that. To me, that's just a reflection of who he is. To me, when people
don't believe it either.
He doesn't reflect who he is and his lack of understanding, his own lack of knowledge. That's what it reflects to me. It's him.
Here's the thing: I don't believe it. You don't believe it. We know it's not true. We know it's not true. Other people don't, and there are other impressionable people out there who take every word that this man says, and
that's the sad part.
That's
the who's crying.
And that's the thing. It's the dog whistle. It's the dog whistle sound bites. It's the dog whistle. He's just repeating what what they've been trying to put out for years. These are just dog whistle sound bites.
It is.
You take something welfare. He also talking about Black people already receive reparations through welfare. Well, if that's damn true, white people, welfare was created for white people.
Hello.
Black people weren't even supposed to ever get welfare. That's not reparations. That's you subjugated a group of people and put them in a position where they had nothing. And then you said, okay, well, at least we're going to give you a little crumbs, but you can only make a certain amount. And once, if you try to elevate, you ain't going to get our crumbs. So you can't eat. You can't have a loaf of bread. You can't eat. Yeah. And that's our reparations. This is the man. This woman is crying. I can't, y'all.
People like him are the ultimate gaslighters. They will tell you, they will do something and tell you that this is not true. They will do something and this is not what you've seen. And this is what white supremacists do. This is what this administration does. This is what these right-wing people do. And when you know how many coons I had to, not many, because I deleted most of them after Trayvon Martin. I deleted most of the coons and the white people who supported this kind of rhetoric. I deleted them a long time ago. Had a couple of them in my family. I'm like, oh shoot, okay, got to delete them. But I already let them know, if you think like this, if you sympathize, and listen, none of us on here are saying that he deserved to die. Nobody did. It was jarring. It was terrible. Like, nobody wants to see that. That was, when I saw that, At first I saw the one from way in the back and I was like, dang, I think he might be dead. Then I saw the one up close and I was like, oh, he dead. So I was just like, whoa, right? Nobody wants to see that. However, the things that this man has said, and if you say this man was a good Christian, he had the heart of Christ, and if you say that if you're my friend and this is what you think, that he was a Christian, he had the heart of Christ, he was a follower of Christ, then you don't deserve to be my friend, because he didn't like me. He doesn't like people who look like me, and he does things to cause harm to people like me. And if you follow him, then you cannot possibly like me. So whether you're white, black, Mexican, or whatever, you cannot be my friend. And I told them, y'all delete me, or if I see some shit on my timeline, I'm deleting you. But I'm not going to be engaging with anybody who thinks like this. Period. I understand that people always say, "Oh, we can have different thoughts." No, that's dangerous.
That's dangerous. The way he spoke was dangerous. I don't think he was right at all. No. I'm like, what about people like that? That's dangerous. You don't talk about anyone like that. No.
And that stuff creates an environment where we're not safe. So I'm just
exactly nobody's safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not safe. For her to say only for words, it's only words. It's not only words, and she even said it's not only words.
Words matter.
It's a way of thinking. It's a way of thinking about a certain group of people and giving you the excuse to treat them however you want to treat them, and for them to die on camera, like George Floyd did. Was she crying? For them to die on camera, and then you call him a scumbag. I think we got a commercial. We're going
commercial. Thank you.
I know you're busy. You got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
about half of all prisoners are black.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders, they commit more arsons, they commit more kidnappings. For example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Okay, let's talk about it. These are obviously racist claims, but I will respond to them as if Charlie Kirk were a reasonable person.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
about half of all prisoners are black.
Wrong. Just 38% of America's prison population is black. That's according to the U.S. government. But it makes you wonder why Charlie feels the need to add an additional 12% to the black prison population. Could it be because his bigoted talking points only work if he exaggerates them? If Charlie were actually looking for the race that makes up half the prison population in the U.S., he'd look no further than white people at 57%.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crimes than whites do.
Wrong. The word "so" is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence.
So blacks commit more crimes.
He's saying "so" as in therefore, as in one could conclude, but Charlie knows he's lying. Even if he hadn't just lied about the black prison population, Charlie is smart enough to know that correlation does not equal causation, but he's hoping that you don't know that. So he deploys the word "so" to make you think he's coming to an obvious conclusion.
So blacks
Instead, he's making an illogical, racist leap. Charlie knows that we don't have usable data about who commits crimes. It's impossible to have that data since so many crimes go both unreported and or unsolved. Charlie knows that we only have data about arrests and convictions. I'll come back to that data in a moment. What's painfully obvious is that Charlie Kirk isn't interested in understanding the statistics he so carelessly misquotes. He's interested in making bad faith arguments. Something that becomes even more obvious in his next point.
Blacks are 13% of the population and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Wrong again. And loud this time. If Charlie were interested in honesty, he would have mentioned the other 1350 statistic. Yes, black people are about 13% of the population, but make up 53% of all criminal exonerations. In fact, black people make up 55% of all murder exonerations. Specifically, black people are more likely than any other group in this country to be convicted of crimes they did not commit. And then people like you have the nerve to parade these stats around as though they prove something. The reality is that you probably know these stats, but you leave them out on purpose, because to bring that stat into this conversation would make some people think. And that's the last thing a person like you wants.
So, hold on. Before I get into that, I do need to acknowledge this. He mentioned it was announced that Southern University and a few more HBCUs is on lockdown. My son just called me, but I posted this on my son's at Hampton. There's a lockdown down at Hampton, and I posted this about 2 hours ago on my Facebook page, and it looks like HBCUs all over the country are being targeted today.
So my daughter's at Howard.
Yeah. So you may want to check in on her, but it's at Clark. I see Virginia State is included. Who's at Southern University, Fayetteville, VSU, ASU. So they're all getting threats all over the country. They're targeted all over the country. So I wanted to bring that up.
Now you see how ironic is that? A white man gets killed. They don't know who killed him, but now HBCUs are being targeted.
Exactly. That's the reason why his rhetoric is so freaking dangerous.
It's dangerous. The rhetoric is not good. That's unfortunate. That's what this was going to happen. Now all over the place, we'll all be working without looking behind us, make sure that nobody is going to hurt us, and that's very sad. All of us suffer when this happens. Nobody is free. Everybody suffers. That's the sad part. You know, when you talk like that, it's so unfortunate. And when I heard him too, I said, "Wow, the way he speaks, as if it's so true." You don't talk like that.
So when I see these coon ass black people on the internet crying over this is what happens. This is why you cannot cry. This is why you cannot be empathetic, because this is real. Now our kids are in danger because of this type of dog whistling that is exacerbated by the president of the United States. Oh, by the way, as well. This is the reason why this is so dangerous. So they talk about the Second Amendment, to the right to bear arms. It's not going to be any fun when the rabbits got the gun and black folks start arming up in the way that they are arming up. And that's what y'all need to be doing, is start arming up like they are. But I want to go to that video, you guys. Shalaye, you was like, clock it. What did you think about the video? That's the one that did like maybe 600,000 or something like that on my page yesterday.
That video was amazing. The way he broke down everything that he was trying to do there, which, you know, you can see someone doing it, but the way that he broke it down and dropped the mic, I'm like, what is this young man's name? Because I want to follow him. I mean, I just wrote down something. Half of all prisoners are black. I can't believe this man prepped his lips to even say that. And the thing that he left out is whatever the percentage is. I think the young man said 38% of prisoners are black. We know why that is, and there's a whole history. See, this kind of he tries to say things.
58% are exonerated.
58% exonerated.
Yeah,
exactly. But we already know. See, he's trying to jump over the fact. We know why the incarceration rate is so high for black people and black men in particular, because 13th Amendment, they put that in place purposely after slavery to re-enslave us. We know why that is, but he's counting on people not knowing why that is.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, you got to think about all of their followers got third-grade educations. That's the reason why. Noma.
I think the guy who was talking was giving him too much credit, and saying, well, he's a smart person and he knows that he is not like smart. I think he believes most of what he says, even though he exaggerates it. I think he actually believes all that. And then he said that he does. So he said he doesn't believe what he's saying. He believes it. And then he said, well, he's smart enough to know this. And I was thinking, nope, he is giving him way too much credit. He is just dumb as a rock. And he's just spewing out a bunch of rhetoric, and then it's like a really stupid person getting a microphone, and then they just get to say all the stupid things that they believe or think, and that's who he really is. And then he incites a bunch of other stupid people, and then they all rah, rah, yeah, yeah. Please don't say that he knows that this is no. I don't think he even knows the statistics. He just heard somebody say 50% of the people in Britain are black, and black people are so bad, and he just kind of
people do that. A lot of people do that.
I don't think he knows. I don't think he's ever looked at a stat. He just heard somebody say some things and then just repeated it. And I don't think that he knows better. No, he actually believes all the garbage he is spewing. He actually believes that black people are dangerous. I almost said shit. He's crazy scared.
You said it.
He's like crazy scared of black. I mean, he is the typical white supremacist, stupid person, and he has just got a mic to spew all that.
Listen, a lie don't care who tell it, and if you tell lie long enough, somebody bound to believe it, and that's what it is. And that's what it is. People, this country is so sick with racism that they rather believe a lie than the truth.
Yeah.
They would rather believe the lie if it makes them feel good, if it somehow goes with their belief of their supremacy, and I've been mistreated and they took from me, and they got black women being I don't know if you guys seen the one, and I don't know if we have the video where he talks about black women, and he talks about Ketanji Brown, and he talks about Michelle Obama. These are all DEI hires, and what they were saying was, if it wasn't for affirmative action, I wouldn't have gotten to college. Not because they're not smart enough. Maybe they didn't test as well as white people. Maybe they had poor education, but when they got into college, they had to perform. They don't set the bar lower once you get in college. You got to perform like everybody else. You don't get your degree. They don't set the degree bar lower for everybody else. But perhaps getting into college was more of a challenge because maybe their background was different. There's a whole lot of reasons. But he says, see, that's the reason why they are working in capacities that they have no business working in, because they're DEI. This is how he took that. And so we know that black women are the most educated demographic out here in this country, but now you minimize them because of white mediocrity, because they just can't perform, and they're feeling some kind of way about it because we're taking their jobs, because we're getting opportunities because we are educated. But Aisha, what do you have to say?
Yeah, when he was saying all the statistics, I was listening to him too, and the first thing I said was, "Wow, I said you must be really dumb to actually think that you believe those things that you're saying. Like, where are you getting this from, and who told you that?" I say, "Well, yeah, because you believe in what the media is putting out there. That is why you're saying these things. Because the truth of the matter is, if you look at it, even the amount of people, your numbers are skewed. It doesn't even make any sense that you want to say this group of people are the ones that are causing the problem. Well, also, why is that? Because you also are being selective. You only show them over and over and over again as the bad people. You always do that on purpose. And then you now use that to now gaslight everybody, right? When we know for certain that it's not true. I understand accountability and some of the parts that, again, somebody said something that is true, but then they embellish it to make it look, oh my God, it's so right. That's what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And even I'm like, come on, man, you can't talk like that about people when you know that it's not right and it's not true.
He may or may not know, because it's like you said, he probably believes all this stuff. The problem is, anybody with any amount of intellect knows that he's dumb. Anybody with any amount of intellect knows that Trump is done. That's why you have most people who have college educations. They know about these people. They know about Donald Trump, white, black, whatever. Everybody knows Donald Trump don't know what the hell he's talking about. They know that Charlie Kirk doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. The problem is the greater majority of America does not. The problem is the greater majority of America has the education, literally the reading comprehension of 3rd grade to 6th grade. And only thing that they know is they're taking our jobs. And when you have a president that's further exacerbating this by fanning the flames, and then you have this white, because what they've done, these far right people have done is they got this young, charismatic, traditionally good looking white boy to go out there, and they put a lot of money behind him to go out there to indoctrinate all these young. He's the one that basically gave Trump the young white vote. Charlie Kirk handed the young white vote to Donald Trump. But this was all a part of the machine. Trump says, I love the poorly educated. They know if we can indoctrinate the poorly educated, all we need is one vote. All we need is them to vote. We don't give a damn if they're educated or not. We just need them to vote so that we can stay in power. And that's all this is about. But let's go to the next video.
People are feeling a sense of euphoria, and people are feeling a sense of relief that it happened. But I think it's really important that, and I keep saying this, that we quell this with a sense of stoic realism, and that this event has changed our political landscape, not for the better. Personal feelings towards him, even you wishing this on him a month ago, yesterday, 3 hours ago, actualization of the event is the issue. It's not wrong for you to hate his guts. It's wrong for you not to defend his rights. The way that people are talking about this is so gross. Not even like that they don't care that he's gone, but it's like everyone just forgot who he is. Someone's father. What are you talking about? Does that suddenly forego? The issue was not that he was someone's father. The issue wasn't even that he was a person. The issue is that this changes our political landscape and justifies unaliving people for their opinions, even when they are not elected officials with direct control over legislation. We are approaching a societal norm of not being able to tell people what you believe in or become too influential at the threat of being unalived. That's the issue. Not people not caring that he's gone. It's the violence that will ensue. Has set a political precedent of unaliving influential pundits. That's what? Who cares that people hate him? Who cares? Who cares that people were wishing for this to happen? Who cares? It has happened. It has happened, and now all of our rights are at stake. Not even from the administration. There is an agreement that we have within society that I will not infringe upon your rights, and you will not infringe upon mine, and I will enforce your rights in exchange for me enforcing your rights, you enforce my rights. If I don't like what you're...
This is all this yelling and screaming is very presumptuous because we don't even know who killed him and we don't know why he was killed. But this is the rhetoric that's pushed out by the administration and everybody else. Did you see that senator that got interviewed yesterday? She goes, this is the fault of the left liberal lunatics. They are responsible for this. And the interviewer was like, okay, so would you say this about what happened to the senator a few months, the Democratic senator? What about her? No, I'm not talking about that. This is nobody wants to. But nobody even knows who killed. Mm-hmm. So this is what they're pushing out. This is the play. Oh no. So she could do all that yelling and screaming, but we don't even know who killed the man. Shalaye.
It's still scary though. It's still scary.
It is scary. I agree with her on you defend my rights, I defend your rights. I think we should all be agreeing on that in society, right? And I agree with her. We should be approaching this with stoic realism. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, it happened. This is real. Okay, what are we going to do about the actual criminal event that happened? Cool, right? But he does not have direct control over legislation. That stood out to me. If he is an influencer, if he is a pundit, he does. Because these people who make the laws, a lot of them, most of them, they are swayed by people like him and Elon Musk who are not politicians, and they should not be slaying legislation, but they do. So this is the thing. We've gotten away from what it's supposed to be, and the legislature taking things into their own hands and making laws based on what is happening and what the American people want. We're so full in this country of influencers that the influencers do actually influence politics and laws that affect real people in real time. So although I agree with some of the things she said, I don't understand the outrage about it, but I agree that if it's wrong for one person, it's wrong for another person. But I think we're conflating a lot of this. This thing's getting conflated. And I just don't understand the outrage about this specific person. I'm still working through it.
It's very scary because it's gonna, like, I like what you keep saying, Constance, is like we're really making a lot of assumptions because we don't know who shot him, right?
Mhm.
But the assumptions, again, because he can spew all that. I mean, I was already kind of feeling this way when a bunch of white people from South Africa were put on a plane and brought here over a lie about them being killed. I was already like, wow, you know, again, just a lie, and then like a whole bunch of action after a lie, based on a lie, a whole bunch of stuff. I'll tell you guys what actually happened to me. I came to the United States when I was only 19 years old, and I've lived there basically my whole adult life. Around the time that Trump was was the first time that I was not able to renew my green card just the same way I had done it. He closed down centers. He did all kinds of things to keep Black immigrants out of America. Then he goes and he gets a bunch of white people from the most racist country in the world, second to America, and he flies them in here. And I think that we're just seeing now the climax of this whole thing. It was always coming, you know, it was just coming. And now this guy getting killed is going to embolden a bunch of people, God forbid, but that's how it looks to me. It's going to embolden a bunch of people to say, well, you know, they killed him for his opinion, and it's the Blacks or it's the minorities or whoever it is, and we're going to get them. We're going to revenge. We're not going to let this, not in my country. And, you know, I think it's very scary. It's very scary.
I mean, we essentially have gone from a melting pot to a boiling pot. Right now, America is a boiling pot of just hatred and animosity. And they are, you know, the country has never been so divided since the Civil War. And the Civil War was was really about, you know, somebody wanted to take away slavery and somebody wanted to keep slavery. And it was all economics. This is about race. This is about economics too. So now you got to understand, you know, that Lyndon B. Johnson quote, if I could take the lowest white man and convince him that he's better than the best colored man, he won't even know you picking his pockets. Hell, give him somebody to look down on everything he owns. So this is for the people in power. How do I stay in power? I confuse the masses with all of this racial rhetoric to keep them divided so that I can just stay in power and keep my money and all of me and my friends and let these motherfuckers fight over and over again. And we just watch them. We be kings and we just watch everybody doing all that. We have them doing our bidding for us. We'll just throw in a little confusion, a little hate, all that stuff. And we just keep making money. That's what we're doing. That's what it's about. For them, it's about that. For the people down here, the uneducated ones, it's about race. Aisha, what do you think?
You know, just what you said. Wow, it's now causing the confusion within the regular people, fighting and hitting each other, and now saying, you guys did this to us, so we'll do this back to you, while those that are up there are just up there, right? So I think we have to be very careful, understanding that this is something that all of us should say, oh, you know what? No, we can't keep doing this to each other. We have to find a way to communicate where we can listen to each other properly and understand where we're all coming from, because there's always a backstory. What is the backstory? Instead of painting everybody with one brush, we should, that was what he was doing, and causing everybody just to be on edge. Like, wait, listen, what you're saying is not true. And going back and seeing all the videos, really, I can see why this was coming for him, because people are just saying, really, this is what you think about us? Even though the sad part is the people that are behind him sponsoring this and making it the face of whatever they're trying to portray, they're still going to be up there waiting for the next one to replace him. And they keep causing chaos amongst us, which is very
You can't put it past this country that his own will assassinate him just to rile up.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying earlier.
Like all these, that's the nature of American racism.
Yep.
They will sacrifice him just to get everything.
Everybody all riled up
To this day, that anybody shot Donald Trump's tip of his ear.
Girl, please. Please.
But it worked. He got elected, right?
Did he did like this with blood on him? I mean, come on. You know, all of that was fake and staged. All of it.
Ear.
Nothing on the ear. And then he had all of his followers with little maxi pads on their ears.
You know how it feels to be like it's like I'll explain something to you. When you're actually in America, some of that, I don't know, you get so embroiled in it. If you take a step back, it is hilarious. It is
sure.
It
hilarious.
is hilarious.
You know what? For us,
Yes.
it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing.
That's the right word. Embarrassing. Actually, it is embarrassing.
Like unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm glad
But
you
you know
said it, Noma, because that's exactly what I was thinking.
It's
We don't know who did it.
Yeah.
It's even more embarrassing when you have black people doing that shit too, though. Like you know the white people, right? Because they had a 500-year head start and they're still mediocre and they mad about it. Like that's their problem. But then when you have black people who have had this struggle and have overcome so much, and you still licking masses boots and you still acting like the Django, and you still, you would have been the one that Harriet Tubman shot. They was the ones that was telling on Nat Turner. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones that turned Nat Turner. These ones, the girls that was crying, them was the ones that would have been, telling on our ancestors that was trying to flee slavery. Yeah. So those are the ones that I would say that are embarrassing. Let's look at a couple of stats. The rise of extremist rhetoric in U.S. political over the last decade. Let's look at that. So Black women who are critical voters in local and national elections represent roughly 7% of the U.S. population, but have outsized influence. Over 90% voted for progressive policies in the last cycle, shaping policy outcomes that affect jobs, housing, and community funding. Economic impact of polarizing leadership. Research shows that areas with divisive political climates often see lower economic growth and lower community investment. Extremist policies or rhetoric can influence funding decisions and business confidence. Mm-hmm. So, what was that first? Go back to that first slide real quick. What was the first slide? Because I had a question. No, the second one. Maybe it's the second one. Polarized but have an outside influence over voter progressive policies in the last cycle, shaping policies outcome. Okay, maybe there was something in my mind that I wanted to ask you before we get out of here, because I know we got to get out of here. And I know, I want your final thoughts. Has anybody, I know you, Shalaye, you just got on this morning at 4:00 in the morning. You just saw it for the first time. So you really didn't, you really haven't interacted with anybody on your Facebook. I've had to delete some coons. Has anybody else have gotten into anything, or anybody like, has anybody else like had to have any dialogue with anybody regarding this?
Yes,
No?
I did.
No.
I did.
What happened, Aisha?
With my husband, because my husband, when they happened, and I said, wow, did you hear what happened with this young guy? He said, yeah. I said, wow, that's crazy. So because again, my family, we're a mixed blessing, and we talked about it, and we said, wow, no matter what, you can't talk about people like that. You just can't. And the first thing we say is, why would you even think the thing that you be so emboldened to be speaking like this and think that's what's going to happen to you? That was what we both talked about. We said we can't allow that if people that are around him, we say, who was advising him to actually think this was okay? That was our thought process.
But nothing's happening to Donald Trump. He talks garbage every time he opens his mouth. There's nothing happening to him.
And really, but we did say that. We said, why? Who's allowing this to think this is okay? And that was our thought. That was our interaction between just my husband and myself, because I never talk about politics at home, but that was so jarring to us that we had to have a discussion about it. And we said, wow, people need to, be empathetic and think about people where they're from, and be kind, and not just speak like that just because you feel you can. Right. So
the thing about Charlie Kirk is, I just think he hadn't been punched in the face enough, and a good punch in the face would have been sufficient. That would have done it, and I would have cheered for a good punch in the face, but he did not deserve to die. But a good punch in the face, oh God, that would have been perfect for him. Perfect. We're gonna give our final thoughts. We'll start with you, Aisha.
Final thoughts. Yeah, I think this is a very difficult situation that happened, and I'm sure we all have our mixed feelings and thoughts about it. But I think at the end of the day is no one deserves to die like that, regardless of their rhetoric that they spew out. We should have that control in our own self to try to not do something like that to anyone, just like we don't want that to happen to us. right? So I think that's what I'm thinking. I hope that with this happening right now, all of us will find a way to dialogue properly and to learn to respect and be kind to each other and find a way to empathize, no matter what you think about someone or where they come from or what they do or how they behave or their culture. Unless you walk in their shoes, you have no right to be so certain about what you think about them. So I think that is my final thought. And I hope that this will help us to find a way to learn how to speak properly and respect people and who they are and where they come from.
Where can I find you?
Yes, you can find me at the Black Business School as one of the coach there, and also at www.aishavirzi.com. If you have any question about your insurance, I can help you with that. Thanks so much.
All right. Miss Nomalanga, what's your final thoughts?
Get out. I'm being funny. I'm being funny, but I really don't believe that America is a safe place to be. I've always loved my dual life where I get to enjoy America, I get to enjoy Botswana, I get to enjoy South Africa. But since Donald Trump, I've just felt less and less like why go there? Why be there? And I know, we have to stick it out, fight for our rights and all of that. But I just feel like, y'all, if you can get out, get out. That's how I feel. If you want to know where you can find me, actually, I have so much digital real estate that I forget sometimes. I'm also an instructor at the business school. I have 2 courses. One of them is how to emancipate yourself from the workplace. It gives you a blueprint for how to, if you're working a full-time job, to create the infrastructure and the things that you need to do before you leave your job and be independently, financially, and otherwise. The other one is about homeschooling Black children, which again is very current and very relevant right now. Both of those courses at the Black Homeschool. And I never do a show without mentioning our charity that we started in Botswana. It's called Paths for Our Girls. We do always appreciate the support, especially the one that comes from this audience. If you would like to donate to our charity, which takes care of girls who experience period poverty and often are not able to go to school because they're in their period and they don't have the supplies, please go to pathsforourgirls.com. Even the smallest amount helps.
Awesome. I know why you don't want to come back to America, because I heard you rich. Dr. Boyce, I was on Dr. Boyce's show the other day. He was like, oh yeah, my friend Nomalanga, she lives in Botswana. She's rich. Oh, that's why you don't want to come back to America, because you rich.
He means my personality and my,
No, take that background off. We know you rich. We know you live in the palace, girl. That's why she don't want to come back. Her ass rich. Thank you, lady.
Dr. Boyce actually came to Botswana and came to my mother and my father's house.
Yeah, and he said you're rich. Yeah, I know. That's how he knows that you're rich.
I don't know what that means.
That's how he knows. All right, Miss Shalaye.
This is tough today, and again, it's just hitting me in the face this morning. Still processing. I believe that we need to have a society where people can speak and have the freedom to say what they want to say and have the opinions that they have and not be subject to being murdered in the street. I do believe that. And I believe that extends to all of us in all races, in all communities. And I believe that America has to do a better job of protecting our citizens, whether that's against gun violence, whether that's against police brutality and political opposition and violence. We need to do a better job. I want to say that, so we heard a lot today. Words are not just words, and this doesn't justify someone murdering someone, but words, especially in this country and in this climate, have a direct correlation to real people's lives and real people's livelihoods, and whether or not someone can have the right to live in this country or not. So I think that just taking this all in and just realizing we all just need to do a better job of, like that girl in the last video said, protecting each other's rights. And that goes for everyone. I am Shalaye Camillo with Vital Source Realty in Boston, Massachusetts, and I can help you buy or sell real estate anywhere in the United States and Canada, and now internationally too. Nomalanga, I want to talk to you. And Aisha, I want to talk to you too. You guys can find me on Instagram at Shalaye Camillo, on YouTube at Shalaye Camillo, and at my website, vitalsourcerealty.com.
Amen. Well, you know what? Somebody said, I know one of the participants and very saddened to hear their thoughts, but no reason to harm them for their differences. I don't know who she knows, one of y'all, not me, because I'm very clear on where I stand, and I've always been very clear where I stood. So she couldn't be nobody that I know. But I will tell you this, and this is what I always, number one, I'm Black first. And while I love everyone, my concern is with us. And this man was very dangerous to our culture. He's very dangerous to our community. I don't condone what happened to him. I don't condone the loss of life. It was brutal. Like, nobody wants to see that. It was disgusting. All the things. I hate that happened to him. A good punch in the face would have been sufficient. It would have been totally sufficient. But what we have to do for Black people is we have to arm ourselves. We have to do what they do. We gotta come together. We got to stop doing the bidding of the devil, because that's what we've been doing for so long. Somebody said on my I always put Black history spotlights on my page, and somebody said, I was talking about the hangings and lynchings and all that stuff, and somebody said, yeah, now we just laugh and sit back and laugh and watch y'all do it. We got to stop doing that, because we are doing the work of the devil, and they don't have to do their work. This is the work that they do, is spew the rhetoric, because they're preparing for us to start unifying, and that's what we have to do. So now we have each other. There are no borders with us being online, with us having the internet, with us having access to everybody. There are no borders. So Black people from Botswana to Nigeria to Boston to California to DC, we can connect wherever we are. There are no limits to being Black. And I don't care who we are, where we are all brothers and sisters. We got to stop the division, because I even see diaspora divisiveness. I'll see, we FBAs, and we don't like Africans, and we don't like what the hell? Who made this up? When did this become the rule? That's so stupid. We got to unify. Black people, we have to unify. This is a trick of the enemy to keep us divided. Let them fight. We mind our Black business, and we mind our Black business. I'm gonna say it again. We mind, MINE. We work our Black business, and we mind our Black business. We come together and we work collectively so that we can build our communities. That's what we need to be worried about. All this stuff is going to happen. Let's stay mindful, and let's keep working together. All right. So where can you find me? Oh, tonight I'm doing me and Dr. B. We got a real estate thing coming up, real estate training coming up. Let me see. Wait. Oh, that's not it. Hold on. I'm not on I have a real estate thing coming up. You guys, text the word Queens to 87948. We actually have a real estate course training coming up tonight at 7:30 Eastern. We are going to be talking about how do we collaborate together to start building and developing and building our own communities. That's what we up to. We're not going to do that stupid ass shit. We're going to work together to build our communities. So if you guys want to be a part of it, if you're on Dr. Boyce's list, he'll send you out an email. If you're not, text Queens to 87948. Finally, I want to just say that this story is a wake-up call. Leadership is more than just influence. It comes with responsibility, with ethics, and awareness of how your decisions affect people and resources. Mm-hmm. So for the Black community, the lesson is clear. We have to invest in leaders who protect and uplift and hold leaders accountable. Remember that your mindset, your money, and your community are all connected. So we're going to see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. And hey, thank all 1,200 of y'all who tuned in with us today. This was an engaging, dynamic conversation. Powerful. Make sure you share this out with all your friends and your family. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
So Charlie Kirk died today. He was murdered.
For real?
He was murdered.
Really?
Really?
Really? Really?
And people are replaying the video. They're replaying the video as if it's
why you do this? Why you do? You playing?